This will be full of spoilers and theories, exploring as much what we don't know as what we do know. It was revealed during the dev Q&A that Lucanis is an abomination.
It's complicated.
It is unclear when this happened and the nuances surrounding it. My theory is Lucanis might already have had dormant magic. I have found much evidence to many things.
It's fine. I'm fine.
Many who previously theorized what we now know to be true said it was because of the ability in Lucanis's eyes. He was born with an ability to detect magic by prickle in the back of his eyes when the veil is thin and when magic is being used. John Epler said about the abomination that Lucanis was dubbed the Demon of Verantium, and someone decided to make that stick. Therefore, he became one much later in his life. More recently, Lucanis was revealed to have already been a companion when Tevinter Nights was written. Thus, the Wigmaker job could be the backstory of why he became an abomination. This then proves that he had his nickname long before he became an abomination. This came about because he is a mage killer and the enemy of the Venatori. Also because he has the reputation of being the best assassin in Antiva. Initially, when I read Tevinter Nights, the Wigmaker job, I thought references to Lucanis's wings were metaphorical. Now we know it is literal. Perhaps Lucanis had his wings ability before the events of Tevinter Nights, as evidenced directly in the Wigmaker job when Illario reads the scroll he found from a Venatori they killed. Whoever clips the crow's wings will walk by my side when we enter the Black City and take glory for the Imperium. If he had his wings before, then he could have tapped into that magical ability of his and borrowed the magic he detects. The devs revealed many companions have subtle magical abilities because the veil is weak. This could be one such example. Of course, the wings could be from the abomination, in which case whoever tried to clip his wings by sending a demon inside of him gave him his magical wings instead. Oh, the irony! Another possibility is through the use of potions, perhaps concoctions made by Viago, someone Lucanis trusts, to help utilize his detect magic ability. He carries purple vials, which could be darts or potions. If potion, it could also be to keep the demon at bay, or to help unleash it during combat. They match the color of his wings.
Please.
Whether through potions or training, or through an abomination, being able to use the magic of others that he detects to his advantage would give him an edge in any fight. If our companions have magic because the veil is weak, it is not out of the realms of possibilities to think that Lucanis's wings are his magic, independent of the demon residing within him.
Just give me a minute. He'll get bored once everyone leaves.
Another clue indicating Lucanis might have already had his wings before becoming an abomination is from the scene with Zara in the Wigmaker job. They're already calling him the demon. From flying vermin to malicious spirit, that's quite the promotion. Then later Zara adds, a true Maleficar knows demons cannot be killed, only controlled. If this crow fancies himself a demon, then I look forward to using him to his full potential. The full potential gives a clue that Lucanis might have magic abilities already, and a mage who is untrained as a mage has greater chances of becoming an abomination. Thus, it is my belief Zara made him one, and Lucanis is after her in the Veilguard. A worry comes to mind that Zara wants to control Lucanis from the demon she placed in him. Then the potions could be to mitigate that. His quest could be to destroy Zara and be free of her control, whether he is freed from the demon or not.
You'll have to kill me.
In the wake, Lucanis had been presumed dead. I had theorized he was alive due to evidence he might have faked his death. He could have become an abomination then. He could have used his demon to actually die and revive, similar to how Sam stops Ryder's heart in Mass Effect Andromeda.
Stopping your heart. Now.
This would allow Lucanis to make it look more legit, his death, and not worry about dying, knowing he'd survive. Perhaps he didn't plan it at all and died, and then was alive again and ready to continue to kill by this demon who magically helped him. I would prefer him faking his death, whether dying and reviving or outright faking, for Illario's sake.
The crows send their regards.
It is established Lucanus is already an abomination at the start of the Veilguard, confirmed by John Epler, not to mention clips that actually show the demon. More indicators come from the gameplay. When selected as a party member, a blurb reads, "Swift and precise assassin with a demonic aura." Lucanus has the Abominate ability. Does he send his demon into others to force abomination? Does he activate the demon inside of him? That could be interesting. Since his demon seems to exist outside of him in a way, perhaps Abominate is Lucanus letting the demon embody him, whether it allows the demon to take control or not. If this is the case, either Abominate activates the wings through the demon or proves the wings came before. Or a third theory, demons are passing through him, either at will or by his control. It would allow spirits and demons to abominate him in short bursts during combat, whether or not he has a demon already inside of him. And maybe the demon inside him would allow others to latch onto him for him to send to force abomination.
Throwing a tantrum when he doesn't get his way?
Past abominations had white eyes when either controlling another, activating the ability allowed by the spirit within them, or when the demon took over. Lucanus, as far as we saw, does not have this, so either those potions help keep the demon at bay, or he has come to an agreement with the demon so that Zara cannot control them. I am very curious if there will be scenes with the white eyes or why his eyes do not become white, only purple. Lucanus's wings and magical aura are purple. Purple magic is associated with pride demon magic typically, though I do not want another prideful betrayal. During a tarot reading with Sid, we determined the companion to betray us would be the quiet, reserved one in the corner, the broody one. I teased Lucanus or a mage. Having him be that would be redundant. Mages, abomination mages, and Antivan Crows have already betrayed us. I rather Lucanus be loyal to Rook and a devoted Mi Amor. Lucanus's magic doesn't seem to be lightning magic, though, so perhaps the demon is not an iteration of a pride demon, but an iteration of a spirit of wisdom turned demon that can also be purple, like memory before becoming enmity. The ancient elven spirits encountered in Trespasser were also purple, though I doubt an elf spirit turned demon cohabits within Lucanus.
Smells like blood. Ashes. Not done, not yet.
We do have a name for the demon inhabiting Lucanus. Spite. This demon, Spite, could be an iteration of Pride Demon because of the purple magic, but different, or because there's no lightning magic, an iteration of a wisdom spirit turned demon. This new demon iteration could prove to have a symbiotic relationship with Lucanus, or could prove dangerous for him. Potion to mitigate the demon's control for Lucanus to control it, or they cohabit each other. Spite helps Lucanus defeat the Venatori out of spite for both of them being violated in this way.
Careful. They know we're not right.
The antonyms for spite are benevolence, affection, and goodwill. So it will be interesting to see how Lucanus exists with spite and how spite itself is an entity. The question, what sets spite off, indicates that perhaps spite is dormant and then gets triggered, or spite has a more symbiotic relationship but can get triggered.
I want to talk to him.
All that being said, this line from Lucanus, "We both did what we had to get out of there," heavily implies that Lucanus and the demon came to an agreement and helped each other, indicating to a symbiotic relationship between the two of them. Even if that symbiotic relationship later became one of rivalry, it could be a contract Lucanus made with Spite, and they have a symbiotic rivalry. I mean, he does seem to want to be free of Spite.
But how do you get rid of them?
And the reason I believe this line is about Spite and not about Illario is that right after this line is prompted what sets Spite off in direct relation to what Lucanus just said. Perhaps like the Avar can have a spirit cohabiting within them and then separate from them, Lucanus will be able to free himself from Spite eventually.
The Fate does whatever his spirit wants. Real walls and chains, not so much.
So the scenes released when the embargo lifted reveal more about Lucanis's personal relationship with Spite. While they might have been forced to merge and work together, it seems they are at odds now. My theory is Lucanis might let Spite have more control over him at certain times and less at others, ignoring him.
Let me talk to them. I want to talk to Rook.
When Spite gets angry, Lucanis gets a nosebleed. Perhaps the relationship began more in agreement, and now they are more at odds. If Lucanis had his wings before, then Spite adds more power to him. If Spite is the source of the wings, then Lucanis lets him use his body to make him fly. That would be one kind of symbiotic rivalry.
You cannot see him. I wondered.
Spite also exists outside of Lucanis. He is bound to Lucanis, but speaks to him as though standing beside him. A purple version of Lucanis that we see and hear, that Lucanis sees and hears, but Rook and everyone else do not.
Lucanis? Right?
Careful.
As mentioned earlier, Lucanis seems to want to get rid of Spite based on some dialogue from the cutscenes, but perhaps this is one path. Maybe he has accepted Spite and he just wants to kill Zara and settle a deal, like a contract with Spite, and break her control over them and then find a way to coexist. I do hope that whatever Lucanis wishes, that we can help him find that, and if not, that he'll be okay and Spite will not get much in the way. Oh, this is going to be angsty, isn't it?
I'm fine.
I am left wondering if the scene in the trailer with the wings, when we meet him, he has to deactivate his wings, disconnect from the demon as it were, because when he kills, he views himself as a tool. And if the second scene is with Zara, perhaps during his personal quest, when he must free himself from her by destroying her. And if so, if the red glyph has something to do with the magic that binds the demon to Lucanis, in addition to the vial of his blood to control him. One thing I do see that could indicate to Lucanis having already been an abomination in Tevinter Nights is that he is undefeatable, that he has survived against great odds. After having fought the actual abominations at the end of the Wigmaker job, Lucanis meets back with Illario, all bloodied, and yet he has not passed out or died. He can take a lot of damage. The counter, but also confirmation to this, would be Zara's line about Lucanis. If this crow fancies himself a demon, then I look forward to using him to his full potential. This can be interpreted in both ways, as she will make him a real demon, hence an abomination by putting a demon inside of him, which makes sense because she did that out of spite. Or Lucanis is acting out of spite against the Venatori, and this line refers to Spite already cohabiting him. It's also possible that Spite was a spirit before being forced into Lucanis, and when they merged, Spite became the demon Spite, and then they decided to kill Venatori together. Another possibility is Lucanis became an abomination during his investigation of the Wigmaker's lair, or while fighting the Wigmaker, because the veil was very thin.
You don't have to worry about me.
So there are a lot of unknowns despite what we know. Either way, I hope Lucanis remains loyal to Rook. Lucanis is said to be learning to trust again, for he has lived through much trauma. I look forward to discovering his entire backstory. And I sincerely hope that when romanced, Lucanis calls Rook Mi Amor. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And I'll see you all soon, my Mi Amors. Masaranas.
Adios, mi amor.